In this video, we'll learn how to find the problem or how to solve the problem using the operations with complex numbers. And it's the same as the algebraic expressions, by the way. Let's take an example. Find in simplest form 3 plus 2i plus 2 minus 5i. All you need to do is just to combine the like terms. But first, you have a parentheses here, or you have parentheses here. And outside of the parentheses, you don't have any numbers, so there is no need to write down the parentheses, or just forget about the parentheses. So let's write down 3 plus 2i, and then plus, and also in this parentheses, you don't have any number outside, so plus 2 minus 5i. Where are the like terms? Where are the real parts and the imaginary parts? We'll combine the like terms, or combine the real parts with the real parts, and the imaginary parts with the imaginary parts. And the real parts here are 3 and 2, so 3 plus 2 is equal to 5, and 2i minus 5i, which are the imaginary parts, is negative 3i. So the answer is 5 minus 3i. Find in simplest form 2 minus 1 minus 2i plus 4 minus 5i minus 1 minus 3i. All right. Now here, outside of the parentheses, you don't have any number, so it means negative 1, right? So let's distribute through. So it's 2 minus. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1, and negative 1 times negative 2i. Negative times negative is positive, and 1 times 2 is 2, and keep I, so it's 2i. And here, you don't have any number outside of the parentheses, or negative even, so let's keep it, 4 minus 5i. And then, the same here, negative 1 times 1 is negative 1, and negative times negative 3i is positive 3i. Alright, where are the like terms here? You have the real numbers, 2 minus 1, and here plus 4, and here minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1, plus 4 is 5, and minus 1 is 4. So the real parts are 4, or the answer is 4. And the imaginary parts here, you have 2i minus 5i plus 3i. So 2 minus 5 is negative 3, plus 3 is 0i, which is 0, right? So the answer here is 4, and you don't have any imaginary numbers here, or imaginary parts. Find in simplest form 2 plus the square root of negative 9 multiplied by 3 minus 4i. You know that the square root of negative 9, you have negative here underneath the square root, and that means you have I. And the square root of 9 is 3, so the square root of negative 9 is 3i. Alright. And to multiply the two parentheses, you have to multiply each term in the first parentheses, multiplying by the second parentheses. So 2 times 3 and 2 times negative 4i. And 3i plus, or 3i times 3, and then go back to multiply 3i by negative 4i. Alright, so 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times negative 4i is negative 8i. And then 3i times 3 is positive 9i. And then 3i times negative 4i, 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And I times I is I squared. You remember, I squared is equal to negative 1, right? So negative 12 times negative 1 is positive 12. So again, 6 minus 8i plus 9i plus 12. Now, you have like terms here. 6 plus 12 are the real parts. So the answer is 18. 6 plus 12 is 18. And the imaginary parts here are negative 8i plus 9i, which is positive 1i, or plus I. So the answer is 18 plus I. Find in simplest form 4 minus 3i multiplied by 4 plus 3i. The rule is, when you have a sum and difference of two terms, like a minus b times a plus b, the same terms, but just one is positive and the second or the other is negative. Just multiply the first term by the first term and the second term by the second term. I mean, I times I is I squared, and negative b times positive b is negative b squared. So here you have the like term, or you have the same terms here, 4 and 4, 3i and 3i, but just one parenthesis has negative and the other has positive. So just multiply the first term by the first term. 4 times 4 is 16. And negative 3i times positive 3i is negative I, or negative 9i squared. All right. You remember, of course, I squared is negative 1. So it's negative 9 times negative 1, which is positive 9. So 16 plus 9. So here you have all the real numbers. There is no imaginary numbers or imaginary parts here, I mean. So 16 plus 9 is equal to 25. So the answer is 25. Find in simplest form 2 minus 5i all to the power of 2. All right. The rule is when you have a minus b squared, the answer is a squared. I mean the first term by the first term, or the first term by itself. And the second term by itself, which is negative b times negative b, is b squared. And the term here in the middle is I, or a, I mean, a times negative b times 2, which is negative 2ab. All right, let's do it in this example. The first term by itself, so 2 times 2 is 4. And the second term by itself, so negative 5i times negative 5i is positive 25i squared. All right. And here the term in the middle, you'll multiply the first term by the second term by 2. So 2 times negative 5i is negative 10i, and times 2 is negative 20i. All right. Here I squared is negative 1. Of course, you memorize that. So 25 multiplied by negative 1, which is negative 25. So the real parts here are 4 and negative 25, which is negative 21. But we have one term imaginary here, imaginary term I mean. So keep it as it is, so negative 20i. So the answer is negative 21 minus 20i.